My name's Sean Hodkin. In the last few months, I've been on the tennis grind in London, working and saving up to once again compete on the pro circuit. This week, I'm playing in the Edgbaston 25k. I'm here to show you my journey on the lower end of pro tennis. My face looks like it's way earlier than 7:30. But I'll get up and the first thing on my mind is breakfast. I believe that porridge and eggs are the best fuel. I have this pretty much every day without fail, and I never feel like I lack energy, unlike Ella. Being around tennis players is hard work. So after breakfast, and of course my first coffee of the day, it's time to leave the safety of the Airbnb and head out into Birmingham. And of course get Ella a coffee before she has an EPB. So the first thing that I'll do on game day is get my racket restrung. I always play with a fresh set of strings and a brand new overgrip. For anyone wondering, my setup is Headlinks Tour 130 gauge, strung at 57 pounds. So after handing my racket in, I'll begin my warm-up, which typically lasts for about half an hour, where I do loads of bits of mobility, some banded exercises, sometimes some strengthening. It's just really important to keep your body loose. So warm-up done, time to get on court. I always start my warm-ups in the boxes, just like to feel the ball. I know some players don't really like doing that. And then hitting from the back, I'm just looking for rhythm, looseness, and also just thinking about how I'm going to approach the match tactically. If you're not in the zone before the warm-up, you better be by the end of it. As much as I'm feeling the court, the balls, the conditions, even the atmosphere, I'm more just preparing my mind for the match ahead. I've hit thousands of tennis balls in my life. I'm not going to lose the ability to hit the ball, but getting your mind in gear is the key. My on-court warm-up typically lasts for about half an hour, and I like it to be quite intense. Quite a lot of movement, just getting up to match intensity as quick as possible. I know that everyone's different. Some players like to be more relaxed, some players probably more intense. It's just really what works for you. So after the on-court warm-up, I like to grab a shower, obviously not going to video that, freshen up and prepare for my second coffee of the day.
Like with any match, there's obviously nerves, but I think that there's also another side of it that there's kind of no expectation, there's no real pressure on me just because I haven't played a lot, which is quite nice, but obviously I still want to win. I'm not saying that I'll just go out there and like swing. Still obviously believe I can win, and I believe I can play well, having not played matches. So yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, it's not using the not having played and not training to the capacity that I want as like an excuse. I still believe that I can win these matches, kind of no matter the situation. And I've done it before. I've done it before in probably tougher times. So yeah, obviously I know more now, so I know more about myself, I know more about the game, and so yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So I use this time to really focus up, imagine different scenarios in the match and how I'm going to deal with them. What happens if I go a break up, a break down, if I start the match nervous, if I start the match really loose, aggressive, passive. Especially not having played for a little while, there were quite a few thoughts going through my head. And this is where it gets serious. The realization that weeks spent working hard, preparing my game, spending over £400 just to stay here for the week, could mean that I come out with nothing. But that's the week in, week out reality of being a tennis player at this level. And you almost have to just accept this is what it's like and do your best to focus on the most important thing, which at the end of the day is the tennis. So my opponent today was Hamish Stewart, ranked 520 in the world and has a career high of 478, and came through the American college system where he had an extremely successful career. So I knew this match was going to be really tough. I knew before going into this match that he had a cannon of a serve, so dealing with that was going to be fun. But I won the toss and decided to kick off. I didn't feel too bad at the start. I feel like because of the new ball and generally I serve quite well, I passed the first game pretty comfortably, and sometimes it can take a while for your opponent to get comfortable on your serve. Yeah, pretty big. So this was the plan really. Any chance I got to be aggressive, take time away, that was what I was going to do. I knew that if I sat back and let him dictate, then I wouldn't have a chance. He was missing a little bit in the beginning, but I knew at some point he would find his range. I resorted to chipping a few returns back, just to try and get some balls in play. It was really hard to commit to hitting over the return against his serve, just because it came so quick. I mean, that serve must be in the 130s for sure. So far so good. I don't feel like I was serving as well as I normally do, but I was doing enough to hold. I felt like each point I played I got more and more comfortable. So apart from the serving, I didn't feel like the level was that great in this match from either of us. Like, I just thought I'd be honest that I've definitely played better, and I've seen Hamish play better as well. So this was a pretty crucial moment in the first set. 3-all, 30-all, if I get broken here, it's basically set done. Playing the big points is a fine balance between being aggressive and not making mistakes, which I just forced it a little bit too much. But that happens. So facing a break point, I knew I had to make him play as much as I could. But with a heavy backhand, he got the break. So my job now would be to just get as many returns in the court as possible, just to get a chance at a break. Easier said than done. My approach shot here just wasn't early enough or good enough, so left myself open for the pass. I feel like this is the game where I actually felt less nervous, to the point where I was thinking a little bit more clearly, my body was relaxed, I was able to play a little bit more freely, which normally if I was playing week in, week out, it would happen within the first 1 or 2 games. So to get a break here, I needed a little look at some second serves, but it didn't seem like that was going to happen. So this was my chance to put some real pressure on. If I could stay solid enough here and force an error, I'd be in with a chance of a break. But I just couldn't hold on and snatched at a forehand. And with a heavy forehand from Hamish, he took the first set. At this point, I just felt like my play became so inconsistent. I'd play one really good aggressive point, and then one point I'd almost go backwards and go a little bit passive. I think this was just due to not playing many matches, not being as match tight, and not being as consistent with the intention to always be aggressive and try to take the ball on. So straight away I was under a lot of pressure. I was a breakdown, and I could feel that Hamish was starting to play better, starting to play more aggressive, going for more on his first and his second serve. So I actually managed to sneak a break point with a few uncharacteristic errors from my opponent, but then he saved it pretty comfortably with an ace. But putting myself in that situation enough times, and I'll see myself start to take those opportunities. I just felt so out of rhythm at the start of the second set. It felt really hard to control the ball coming in, as it was staying pretty quick and low on these courts, so I always felt pretty rushed. So I just managed to cling on to a service game. Now it's time to try and put some pressure on. I felt like the short slices were working quite well. I always feel like slowing down opponents that like to play quick is always a good play. It's just hard not to do it too often because the really good players get used to it so quick. So using it as a change-up is really effective. I could feel at this stage that the momentum was really with my opponent. but it doesn't stop you fighting to try and get it back. I know from experience that matches can change really quickly, even from these scorelines. Set and 4-1 down, it's not unheard of to come back, so it's always worth fighting and keep sticking the balls in the court. I think probably because I haven't played so many matches and I haven't had the training that I would have probably wanted in preparation for tournaments. By the end of this match, I was pretty exhausted, even though I've been used to playing matches that were far longer and far more physical in the past. So it shows there's a lot of work to be done there, which when I get some time to do that, I'm really looking forward to developing my physical side a little bit more. And of course my game, that's obviously really important as well. So that was my first match back over. Obviously, congrats to my opponent. I thought his level was really high. And I'd just like to take a quick second to thank all my subscribers, everyone that's supporting my journey. If you'd like to support my journey further, I've attached a fundraiser link in the bio called Buy Me a Coffee. I really appreciate your support and any help I get. Join me next week where I'll be heading up to Glasgow to play another pro event. Don't worry, Ella fans, she'll be there too.